Just wave at me in the camera if you're excited tonight how to dominate your wealth, not just how to, build a little bit of wealth, but how to dominate where you're at right now in your life. Just let me know if that's you. Wave at me in the camera. Kim, is that Carla's ready? Carla's like, yo, let's go. I love it. I love it. Coach Faith is ready. Okay, awesome and amazing. Well, listen, you guys are at the right place at the right time. You're at the right place at the right time. Let me just say that there is no better time than right now to learn this information. The information you're learning today, there's no better time. There's no better time because the dollar is changing, the financial realm is changing. So there's like I truly believe Marvin and the information he's going to change or give to you guys tonight is going to change everything. Is going to change everything. So this is what I need you. This is what I need you all to do. Before we get started, Marvin has great information tonight planned out for you. I need you all to go ahead and turn your cameras on if at all possible. Just out, this is gonna listen, Marvin, he started recently implementing a no camera off policy because we notice when people have their camera on, they're a little bit more attentive. So if we can get those cameras on tonight, so I know some of you all, this was an unplanned event, but I'm gonna give a shout out to Ayana for being here with the camera on. James, what's up, James? Good to see you. Mr. Holly, good to see you. To let me see, to Shonda, good to see you. Roberta and Roosevelt, Curtis, good to see you all. Let me see who else got their camera on. Ralph, and we got Asia, good to see you. Andrina, good to see you. Anthony, all right, all right. Now, the second thing I want you to do, I want you to go ahead and grab your pen and paper. Hold it up in the camera for me if you have something you could take notes with. Because tonight we are not playing. I got off the phone with Marvin and I said, Marvin, I said we got to give some game. I want tonight. Let's go like maybe 2, 3 hours on just helping them create a domination plan that they can use to go into 2020, the end of 2025 into 2026, just ready to take control of their financial situation. Is anybody in here just tired of you're tired of being on the financial hamster wheel? Anybody just put yes in the chat. If you're tired of just being on this hamster wheel and you're like, man, I wish something could change. I wish something could change. I love it. Well, tonight, y'all, it can change. That's what I'm excited to bring to you guys. This can change tonight. But this is what I want to encourage you all to do. I want you to come with a new perspective tonight. And you're like, Michael, what do you mean new perspective? This information that you're about to receive is counterculture. You guys get what I'm saying? What you're about to receive tonight, everybody else, schools, colleges, they will all tell you to do something one way, but Dr. Collins, Shell, Scott, what Marvin's going to teach you tonight is completely opposite. So you're gonna look at what Marvin says tonight and you'll be like, wait, this is the first time I've ever heard that. Or wait, why do we do it that way? I don't want you to throw it off to the wayside. I want you to embrace it because listen, just because we've been doing something one way for years doesn't mean that's the best way to do it. Can I get an amen in the chat? Just because you've been taught one way, I see Scott nodding his head. He's like, yeah, it's true. Just because you've been taught one way of doing something does not mean that's the right way and the only way. So tonight, come with it for the new perspective, a new shift in your mind. And I promise you, if you just embrace what you're about to hear, you'll have new epiphanies, new ideas, and you'll be really, really thanking me later that, man, I'm glad I came to this class and I'm glad I just came with an open mind. Now, lastly, I'll say this. Tonight, um, we're going to give you as much information as possible. We're going to blitz. So what I need for you all to do is turn off all distractions. Turn off all distractions. You may be like, Michael, all distractions. What do you mean? Like, I'm talking about like if you got TV in the background, just turn it off. Like, like invest in yourself right here. If there's people maybe distracting you in the background, just like try to find a quiet place to work. Because y'all, it's time to invest in yourself. Everybody put invest in myself. It's time to take the investment in yourself seriously. It's time to invest in yourself and take your future seriously. So tonight, Brenda says I'm ready to invest in myself. Let's go. Darnell says I'm ready to invest in myself. Shamani says I'm ready. Blessing says I'm ready to invest in myself. And that's what I want you to do. And the best way to do that is just make sure that you're in a quiet, safe space where you can really absorb this information. Now tonight, Marvin is going to be in here giving you so much game. I want to know who's new to Marvin Mitchell. Who in here? If you're brand new to our Wealth Creators family, just put me in the chat. If you're brand spanking new, you're like, who in the world is Marvin Mitchell? What is this class I'm in? Just put a me in the chat real quick if that's you. Wow, we got a lot of new Marvin. I hope you're seeing this. Look at all the new family in here. If you're a part of the Wealth Creators, you've been in a class before, you know who Marvin is. Just go ahead and I want you to put a one in the chat. If you're familiar with who Marvin Mitchell is and you've been in a class before, just put a one in the chat. Let's see if you all are listening. Okay, awesome. We got a lot of returning individuals as well. I love it. Well, listen, tonight you all are about to learn from a Hall of Fame financial advisor. Let me say this again. A Hall of Fame financial advisor who has 2 decades, 20 years in this industry, and he's coached thousands of people to dominating their wealth. So tonight, you're not learning from somebody that just learned something on YouTube a week ago and is now trying to do a webinar. No, no, no. You're learning from somebody that walks the walk, somebody that actually has sat down and coached hundreds and thousands of people. And you're about to learn from somebody who truly cares about your financial future. So tonight, I'm excited to introduce to you all the one and the only Mr. Marvin Mitchell, Mr. Become Your Own Bank. This is what I need for you guys. We may break Zoom. I don't know, but on the count of three, if we can just get the energy right in here, because listen, high energy equals high income. Actually, type that in the chat real quick. High energy equals high income. We truly believe that here at Wealth Creators. Listen, if you are ready for tonight, you're ready to dominate your wealth. I want you on the count of three. I'm going to unmute everybody. Let's just clap it up. Let's go crazy for Marvin Mitchell, but not just Marvin, but let's go crazy for your future, what's about to happen in your life with this information you're about to receive, y'all. And I promise you, energy will lead you to higher income eventually with the right action. So on the count of three, let's go crazy. Let's welcome Marvin in with a high energy clapping, some noise to bring up the energy in the room. Ready? One. Uh-oh, I lost everybody. There we go. 1, 2, 3. Let's go.
Nobody else.
Oh, then I'm gonna make it.
Let's go.
Hey.
Is it? Once I learned
It's got to
out of
be right.
We got
the
some.
Let's go. Let's
Hey,
go.
let's
I
go.
don't
How
get
y'all
the
doing?
I'll take the one to him. I'll bear the pain later, but you should already know.
Hello.
Marvin, we starting off with high energy today. Let's get it.
All
Let's
right, I
get it.
see
Let's
the
get
high
it.
energy. I can feel the energy in the room, Michael. I think I'm gonna do something a little bit different today. I'm going to. I'm giving a lot of my time today. First off, and plugging up my charger. That's what I'm doing. But I'm giving a lot of my time and a lot of my energy today. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to teach 3 different segments today on wealth creation. One I'm going to teach you about is becoming your own bank, becoming your own bank through life insurance, because I believe that can be a foundation for success that most people don't do, right? And I'm going to teach you how to do it. But then what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop for a minute, and I'm going to actually, I never do this on a free webinar, but I'm going to stop and actually do a little bit of Q&A once I teach it. And then I'm going to teach about a different topic. I'm going to stop and do a little bit of Q&A as well. And I might even have a special guest on to talk about real estate tonight. And then we're going to do some Q&A. So you're going to have an opportunity to learn, and also going to have an opportunity to raise your hand and ask a question. Now, keep in mind, there's, you know, over what, 200, almost 250 people in the room. So, the chances of everybody getting their questions answered is probably not going to happen. But I do want to give you all an opportunity tonight. So, really quickly, I'm not going to spend a lot of time talking about me, because this isn't about me. This is about you. So, you don't care about all of my backstory. You really care about, can this help you, and what can you do to take some actionable items and make some money soon and help your wealth as soon as possible. So that's what I want to do. But um, the reason why I'm qualified to speak to you on wealth is not that I've earned, over, 8 figures last year in my business, not because I have residual money coming in of 75 grand a month every single month. I go to sleep and I wake up and that money is just coming in every single month. Not because I'm able to live where I live and travel and do what I like. I'm really not a flashy person. In fact, I had a Lamborghini and a Rolls Royce that I had paid for, owned, and I just sold them because it was fun while it lasted, but at the same time, that's really not who I am. I'm not one of those flashy lifestyle marketer type of people. But you know what I mean? When you have the opportunity to get a Lamborghini, I'm not going to lie, it was fun while I had it. But after a while, I was driving and I'm wondering, what are people looking at? I forgot that I was driving a Lamborghini. Like literally, I forgot that I was driving these flashy cars. So that's not why I'm teaching you this. I'm teaching you this today because of where I come from. You see, I grew up poor. Anybody from St. Louis? Anybody from St. Louis in the building today? Or at least Illinois, close to the St. Louis area? Okay, we got some people in St. Louis. So the people in St. Louis will know exactly what I'm talking about. Um, I come from Walnut Park. Walnut Park is like one of the worst parts of St. Louis. Now, St. Louis is already ranked one of the top crime capitals in the world. I was in the worst part, right? So my mom had me when she was 15. My dad has been in jail my entire life. I think he just got out. I say I think he just got out of jail because I think he's in like a halfway house, or something like that. And I just got back in contact with him for the first time in like 15 years. So I really didn't have a dad around. My life was really strong women and my grandmother who played a really, strong part in my life. Now, my grandmother, she was an amazing person. She's since passed away. But my grandmother, she was the type of person who would feed the entire block. And quite honestly, she would probably cuss you out too and feed you right afterwards. And she would do so, and people would just, that's her. They would laugh and they would eat good. But that was my grandmother. And she was a strong, independent woman. And I'm the first person in my family to go to college. And when I graduated from college, I attended law school at Texas Southern. Now, I moved back to St. Louis because my grandmother became very sick with cancer. And when she became sick, that's when I realized the devastations of basically not preparing financially. Stock market crash. My grandmother told her advisor she wanted to be safe. She lost half of her money. She had no long-term care insurance, so she ended up spending down the rest of her assets, the rest of her money, and she passed away feeling like she was a burden on the family. And that really hit me hard. In fact, I decided that I was going to go into the financial industry and make a change. And so this wouldn't happen to anybody else. And when I went into the financial industry, I started at Edward Jones when I was 21 years old. So this is my 20th year in the business, so you can do the math. So at Edward Jones, about maybe 5 or 6 years into my career, 5 years, because I stayed there for about 5.5 years, one of my first clients came to me and said, I can't afford to lose this money. And I told him the financial jargon. Don't worry about it. Hang in there. You're in it for the long haul. It's only a paper loss. She said, no, I don't think you understand. I cannot afford to lose any of this money. Well, the client was absolutely right. I made this client more conservative. She didn't lose the money when the stock market crashed. And I didn't get rewarded. I got reprimanded because I moved that client out of preferred funds. And that's when I realized that the financial system wasn't truly about helping you, it was about lining up their dollars, right? Thankfully, I didn't lose my job or anything. I ended up leaving because of that, because I felt like it wasn't the right thing. I was making 6 figures, I was 26, and I still just didn't feel satisfied because I knew this is not my purpose. This is not why I went into this particular industry. And I also realized that the educational system, the financial system, the government, the IRS, They are all kind of related to one another, which means they all want you to be robots. They all want you to follow their pathway, go to school, get student loans, um, work for 40 years, saving your 401k. Hopefully one day you're able to retire. And when you're able to retire, now you can take money out of your account finally. And now you got to pay taxes on all of that money. The government can increase taxes anytime they want to. And now you have to go to school. I mean, now you have to pay back all those student loans. Don't forget, some people are still paying on student loans for 10, 15, 20 years. You got to pay back all those student loans because you couldn't afford it when you were in school. And all of a sudden, 70% of people run out of money before they die. These are hardworking people who work for the same company for a number of years, who saved in their 401k, and it still wasn't enough, right? So at some point, we have to realize that the system doesn't work. So the system doesn't work. So if the system doesn't work, are we going to keep doing the exact same thing and expect a different result? Or are we going to do what's uncomfortable, which is to change? The hardest thing for me is not to teach people something new. The hardest part for me is to help people to unlearn something that they think that might be true because it's normal. Understand that normal is the reason why most people fail. Normal is the reason why only 5% has 80% of all of the wealth in the country, because those people are not normal. Most of those people didn't even get a college education. Most of those people were not smarter than you. They just happened to go a different way when you went. They decided to change who they listened to. They decided to get proper mentorship. They decided that they would grow beyond what normal, everyday, normal Americans do. Let me ask you a question in this room today. You're in this room, and maybe you are. So it could be a yes or a no. Are you normal? Do you consider yourself normal? If so, put a yes in the chat. If you're not normal, put a no in the chat. I love it. All right. Look, we're not normal. We're not ordinary, right? Some people are, that's fine. But most of us, we say, hey, someone say, yes, but my sisters say I'm not. Look, we don't want to be normal. We don't want to be aligned with this world where most people fall. Most people run out of money and don't have financial literacy. My people are destroyed because of their lack of knowledge. My people are destroyed because of their lack of knowledge. Okay, and we're about to gain some of that knowledge today. So the first thing that I want to teach you is what the world teaches you, and I'm going to teach you a different way to think about it. So we were all taught, we get our job to overfund our 401k, saving our 401k, pay off your house early, see if you can pay extra to the bank to do so, pay off your student loans, all of these particular things. Well, let's talk about saving in your overfunding your 401k. All right. Do we got a volunteer? We got a volunteer. Raise your hand if you want to volunteer. So, who wants to volunteer? Do a hand raise reaction. Click on reaction and do hand raise. Don't be scared. There's only 300 people in the room. Who not scared? I don't got one person with you. Okay, there we go. We got one person. We got Clover. Thank you for not being afraid. Now, Clover, you come to me and you want to borrow some money. Let's say you want to borrow $10,000. Now, I don't really know you. You don't really know me. But let's just say I just said, okay, fine, I got $10,000. Here you go. Now you think it's strange. You didn't expect me to really give you the $10,000. So what are two things, or y'all can answer this too in the chat. What's two things that Clover should want to know before she takes my $10,000 loan? Clover, what do you think? What are two things you're going to want to know?
Are you normal? Just giving it to me like that? Or what's the catch?
Mm-hmm. Now, what are the two things you're going to want to know about the loan?
Am I going to pay it back? And is there any interest rate?
Yeah, yeah. What's the interest rate and when do I have to pay it back?
Mhm.
That's common. So what have I said? That's a great question. You know what? Honestly, I don't know what the interest rate will be just yet. I said, but go ahead and take the loan, and one day I will determine what interest rate I will charge you. And at that time, what I will do is charge you that interest rate retroactively to the day that I gave you this loan. And I don't know exactly when I want the money back, but when I do decide I want the money back, if you can't give it all back to me, I'm going to charge you a 50% penalty at that particular time. But go ahead and
Oh,
take this loan. Are you taking this loan unless somebody is in dire emergency and they're about to die? Because that's a
no
different
way. No
situation.
way.
But are you
Sounds
taking
like
the
a
loan?
bad deal to me.
It sounds like a bad deal, right? Now the consequences of not paying me back is that I'm repoing everything, or you charge you a 50% penalty. That's not a good loan. Now
Yeah.
let me tell you this. As crazy as this sounds, I bet at least 200 of you in the room today are actually taking that loan right now. Think about it.
Mm.
I said that I don't know what the interest rate will be, but one day I will determine what that interest rate will be. When you put your money into tax deferred 401ks, you haven't paid taxes on that money yet. One day when you pull that money out, you have to pay taxes on that money. Do you know what your tax rate will be at the time when you start taking money out of that account?
Nope.
Think about it. Do you know what the tax rate will be? I want you to think about it for yourself. You have no idea. Now, do you think over the next 10, 20 years that taxes will potentially go up or go down?
We'll go up.
Yeah, most people are saying it's going to go up. Now, think about this. When you take the money out and they charge you taxes, are they going to charge you on a dollar that you take out on that day, or are they going to charge you taxes retroactively on all of the money that you put in there over the years? They're going to charge you back retroactively. The same exact same thing I just said that you thought was so stupid and so
You're right.
crazy. So if somebody said, put your money in this tax deferred account, and you have no idea what your tax rate is going to be when you take it out. The government, the highest tax rate at one point in 1941 was 94%. But we don't know what tax rates are going to be. But go ahead and put your money into this bucket. You would be like, no, I'm not. I'll put money up into the match, but I'm not putting anything over the match. Now, what if I said they're also going to force me to take money out of this account? It's when I get a certain age, and if I don't take that money out, they're going to charge me 50% penalty, not including the taxes I still have to pay. Would you be like a 50% penalty? Heck no, I'm not taking that loan. But you all have taken that loan with the IRS. You got to understand that people didn't use to put money into retirement plans like 401ks. Most people don't realize that the 401ks and all of that and the IRAs even have only been in existence since the 1980s. Before the 1980s, people saved a lot of times in life insurance. The same very thing that most people are teaching you not to do was the thing that people used to do. Because why? Because there are no tax consequences for putting your money into that. You can borrow against that money. You can leverage yourself against that money. You can borrow against a 401k, but if you leave the job, they're going to penalize you and charge you a lot of taxes. So what I want you to do is I want you to rethink if what you thought to be true, Clover, turned out not to be true. When would you want to know about
Immediately.
it?
Before I take the
Immediately.
loan. Yep.
Exactly. Thank you, Clover, for participating. Put some
Welcome.
fireballs in the comments for Clover for not being afraid to participate. Absolutely. So we gotta unlearn some things, right? It's just like I got people who got their loans from their house back when they were paying 3 to 4% interest. You realize you can make more just by sitting, you can make more than 3 to 4% just by sitting your money in the bank nowadays. So if you're only paying 3 to 4% in interest on your home, why are you in a rush to pay it off? You got the cheapest loan that you will ever be able to get, probably again. So why would you rush to pay something off when you have an advantage where you can take that money and invest it and probably make 8 to 9%? But instead you're rushing to pay off a house where you were paying 3 or 4%. That makes no sense, right? I agree. Your house can be a liability as well. So I want you to use the bank's money. So one of the things that I want to teach you is that all debt is not bad debt. All bad debt is not bad debt. Hey, look, I believe in said the word says, "Owe no man anything." Look, owe no man anything, but I can owe the bank something. Look, forget that. That's the bank. That's the system. I'm trying to, if I can loan some money from the bank at 3, 4%, and I can go give it and loan it to somebody else for 10, 20%, and I can make 10 to 20% on the asset, why wouldn't I do this? Have you ever heard of the term other people's money? When are we going to get to the point? That's a great question. Let me answer that question for you in just a second. Yeah. All right. All right. So we just got to the point because you just got removed. So that is the point. Okay. If you can't get the foundation down, it ain't no point. See, this is the problem. Too many people coming in and they looking for one word silver bullet that's going to solve all of their problems. It's not a one word silver bullet that's going to solve your problems. You got to understand the foundation of how money works. You got to understand of how banks make money. You got to understand some things that you've been doing and learning for all of this time. If you didn't unlearn the fact that you thought overfunding your 401k and attempting to pay extra towards your house is not always the best financial decision, or using other people's money, if you don't get that foundation, anything that I teach you won't matter, because even if you got rich, you're going to lose it all because you didn't develop the principles and the foundations behind it. So therefore, hopefully that wasn't too mean to me, but um, I got to the point. You're not going to rush me on getting to the point because this is the point. The point is that we have to think differently when it comes to money, because the way that we have been thinking have led many people astray. Okay. Now, when sometimes I got a sense of humor. I look like I'm serious, but I really do have a good sense of humor, right? I really do like to mess around, joke around. But hey, at the same time, you talking to somebody who went from having nothing to being able to make $75,000 a month of passive income and being able to make 8 figures in a year. So I would be patient while I get to the point. All right. So what I do want to do is show you all I want to show you all how using other people's money. There's several ways to use other people's money, right? One way that you can use other people's money is becoming your own bank with the life insurance. But you can also use other people's money if you have equities and stocks. You can, instead of selling those stocks, you can borrow against a lot of times those stocks. You can borrow against those stocks. Um, you can also borrow against equity in your home. You can also borrow against 401ks. These are all systems that you have that you can keep those assets growing while you use their money to go make money and assets in a different place and simply pay back off those loans. Now, my favorite is life insurance. Okay. Let me kind of show you why. Yes, ma'am, Kimberly. You can do that. Borrow against your stocks, margin loan, 401k, life insurance. Absolutely. So let me go to circle. Well, all right. Okay, so this part might be the point. This is the point part of the presentation that maybe Tanya was talking about. So somebody who knows her is going to have to inform her on part. Is that me?
Yeah, it may be your YouTube stream, Marvin. I don't know if you have that in another tab.
What is going on? Can you all hear that?
We can't, no, but it may be on your YouTube.
Oh, it might be. Let me do that. Let me take it off of that. 1 second. It is. It is. All right, cool. We good. That was my lie, my fault. Okay, so here we go. There's three different types of people when it comes to money. So you have a debtor, a saver, and a wealth creator. A debtor, a saver, and a wealth creator. So the debtor, they go into debt and then they spend their life attempting to get out of debt. They go back into debt, they spend their life attempting to get out of debt. And they do this over and over and over and over again. Okay? These are people that's trying to get out the rat race. Then you have the saver. The saver is saving, and then they pay cash. They're saving, and then they pay cash. They're saving, and then they pay cash. So this person is in a better position than the saver, than a debtor. But the problem is that every single time they pay cash, they are literally using their money and stopping the forward momentum of their money. They can no longer compound what doesn't exist. So although it sounds great to be a saver, what's missing is you no longer have that money for it to grow. So the wealth creator is just growing, growing, growing. What's going on, Derek? They're growing, 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 growing. They never interrupt the forward momentum of their money. And what they do is they actually leverage, they use leverage and they borrow against themselves and they pay it back. They borrow against themselves and then they pay it back. So this could be they're borrowing against their 401k. It doesn't have to be an IUL, or it doesn't have to be a whole life. They can borrow against their 401k while it's still continuing to grow. They can borrow against a margin account while your assets still continue to grow. They can borrow against the real estate by using a home equity line of credit while their assets still continue to grow. Because they never want to stop their compound interest. See, people who don't understand money, they just sell everything. People who don't understand money, they just spend all of their cash instead of leveraging their cash. They just liquidate their stocks when they need to buy something. They'll call and say, I want to sell my 401k assets and take the penalty before finding out if there are any other options that they can do. So, number one, write this down. Rule number one, don't sell unless you have to. Leverage, right? My CPA told me I was going to sell my $2 million home in Atlanta. He said, don't sell it. You can get a big tax deduction off of that. You can do bonus depreciation. Instead of selling it, take a loan against it and let that thing keep building equity while you use that money to go out and buy other assets. And I was like, man, I teach people that all the time. You absolutely right. Why didn't I do that? So I went ahead and I did that, and I still have all of my homes. I still have all of my equities. I don't sell it, and they all been growing like crazy. So there's a problem with consumer debt. There's also a problem with paying cash for everything. See, the problem with paying cash, let's say I save $2,000 a month, and every 5 years, I spent my cash, and it took me 4 years to build it up. Here I am, boom, 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 paying cash, boom, 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 paying cash, boom, 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 paying cash. I keep doing the same thing over and over and over and over. Whereas if I let that money compound and leverage it, instead of me having 359,000, I would end up with $2,035,000, and that money is tax free. And I borrowed it, and I bought the exact same things. I've just changed my structure and how I've done it. That's very important. And also, I saw somebody in the comments say refinance. There's a big difference between refinance and taking a home equity line of credit. Refinance is when you start over with a brand new loan at whatever the interest rate is today, which could be higher than it was yesterday. Home equity line of credit is when you simply borrow against the equity in your house. You don't change loans, you just borrow against it. It's like having a line of credit against your house. So you can borrow against it, then you pay it back. You can borrow against it, and then you pay it back. It's called a HELOC, home equity line of credit. Now, sometimes it just makes sense to do a home equity line of credit. Sometimes it makes sense to do a refinance, especially a cash out refinance. If you have a lot of debt and you're paying high interest on that debt, but you have equity in the house, then absolutely do a cash out refinance, take that cash, pay off all of the debt, and then simply just pay back the real estate loan at a lower interest rate. So you got to understand the name of the game is leverage. That's very important. So what if you can make these big purchases without emptying your tank? Well, this would allow private capital reserve your money to continue to employ the benefits of compounding. Well, if you don't use your money, whose money do you use? You're going to borrow, remember, against a financial institution. You're going to secure your loan by pledging a portion of your money. So the one thing I want you to do is before you make a major capital purchase, I always want to ask yourself, is there anything that I can borrow against first? Is there any way I can use collateral? I had a lady who came into my office today. She wanted to take out $150,000 to buy an asset, and she wanted to sell it out of her 401k. Well, she was going to have to take out about 200 and something thousand because she still had to pay the loans. She was under 59 and a half, so she was going to have to pay a 10% penalty, and she was going to bump herself up into the highest tax bracket. So what I did was I said, have you attempted to see if we can get a loan and you can keep your assets growing? She said, I didn't think about that. I didn't know I couldn't just sell it. Like, yes. So she found a loan, and now she's going to be able to keep her money growing. Yes, you can do that with credit cards as well in some cases, especially, you're looking for 0%. So, all right, so here's how it works. Let me kind of fast forward to it. We know the benefits of collateral. When you make contributions, it's going to have internal growth, and also when you pay it off, it reduces your lien. That's how collateral works. But if I'm creating this account, remember you can use a lot of different accounts. But if I'm creating this particular account with the most amount of benefits, what benefits am I looking for in this private reserve type of account? Well, first off, you want tax deferred growth, which means you don't want to pay taxes on that money while it's building. Most of my clients, Tom said, I'm 60 years old. I don't have time. Tom, most of my clients are between 55 and 70. You got time. Like, I don't care if you're 60. What are we going to do? Keep doing things the wrong way because we think we're too old? You're not too old. You got time on your hands. In fact, let's start reversing everything and start doing it the right way now. We got time. Tax-free distributions, right? When you take the money out, you do want tax-free distributions. You want a competitive return. You want very high contributions. It'll be nice if you can deduct your contributions from your taxes. Collateral opportunities. That means you want to have the ability to borrow against this account. You also want your money to be safe. Safe. You also want no loss provisions. That means I don't want to lose money. Guaranteed loan options, which means it doesn't matter what my credit score is. It doesn't matter what, if I lost my job, if I have the money available, doesn't matter, I can borrow against it. You also want unstructured loan payments. What unstructured loan payments means is that if I take out a loan, unlike the bank, I don't have a time frame that I have to pay that back. In fact, if you don't have a time frame that you have to pay that back, it means you pay it back when you want to pay it back. And get this, even if you want to pay it back. I'll explain that later. You want liquidity, use, and control. Liquidity, use, and control of your money, which means you can access it at any time, no matter your age, none of that matters, you can access it. And you also want some additional benefits, if possible. Now, look, there are definitely many accounts that work as a private reserve, but some accounts, quite frankly, just work just a little bit better than others. So again, many accounts that work as a private reserve, but some accounts work better than others. So let me explain. Let's kind of use a few as an example. What if I just talked about this? Well, couldn't I do this with my 401k? Thank you so much. We got somebody taking really good notes in the chat. So what about my 401k? Again, remember, you can borrow against your 401k. However, understand that 401k loans are limited to a maximum of $50,000 or one half of the account balance, whichever is less. So if you have $40,000 into your account balance, you can only do 50% of that, which is in that case $20,000. You can't borrow the whole 40,000. So loans must be repaid in less than 5 years. And if they're not, it's considered a distribution, which means they're going to charge you taxes on all of that money. And if this does occur, and you're less than 59 and a half, then you also have to pay an additional 10% penalty. And also remember, if you lose your job, a job change, decide to quit, immediately they count that as a distribution, which means they're going to charge you taxes and penalties. So remember, you get some of the benefits, but not all of the benefits. So, but you can use your 401k to leverage money. It's just not the most efficient way. We talked about a margin account on a stock portfolio. Somebody mentioned that earlier too. So again, the amount available is typically about half of the value of the portfolio. It does have the competitive returns, high contributions, collateral opportunities, guaranteed loan options, liquidity use and control, but it's missing some of these other benefits. What about a HELOC, home equity line of credit? We talked about that one. It only has two of the benefits: tax deferred growth, collateral opportunities. It doesn't have any of these other benefits. Now that leads me to life insurance, right? This is one of the biggest, most in your face secrets that are known to man. I've been doing this for 10 years. I'm telling you, one of the best kept secrets, and it's right in our face. Why? Because you're going to be able to have all of these benefits. Once dividends are paid, they become a guaranteed cash value. There are certain riders that you can purchase. The cash value grows tax deferred. You can do loans against this type of account. The death benefit is paid income tax free. And simply, when you take a loan and you don't pay it back, they simply subtract it from that death benefit plus interest. And look at all of these benefits that you get. You get every last one of these benefits, right? So super, super important. So let me show you really quick what's called a 10-minute lesson on life insurance so you can understand how the life insurance game works. Now, most people have not explained it to you this way. Most people don't understand it themselves. Most financial advisors don't really understand this. So you're going to know in the next 10 minutes, you're going to know more than about 90% of advisors know when it comes to how the life insurance game works. You're going to know 100% more than a Primerica agent knows. Those of you who know Primerica, you know what I'm talking about. But you're going to know a lot more than most people. So let's explain this. Let's just say you have a $500,000 death benefit, right? Well, there's a minimum amount that you can put into a life insurance policy, but there's actually also a maximum amount that you can put into that same policy. Who do you believe determines the minimum amount that you can put into a policy? Write that in the chat if you know the answer to it. Some of y'all know because maybe you've heard me talk about this before. Who determines a minimum amount that you can put into a policy? All right. Now, I don't care if you get it right or wrong. I just care that you're participating. Okay, yes. The answer is the insurance company. The insurance company has actuaries that determines how much premium you need to put on for it to be a profitable type of insurance policy. Now, who do you think determines the maximum amount? Who determines the maximum amount? Okay. The answer is, I'm seeing a lot of the right answers. It's the government. Why would the government be concerned about how much money you put into a life insurance policy? This is going to all click for you all. The government only cares about one thing. They care about your tax dollars, right? Especially our government. So you got to understand that there are a lot of ways to build these types of policies. And back in the old days, before the 80s, I'm talking about that's all people did was put money into these life insurance policies to avoid taxes. Now the government put a loophole into the rules so that they can still take advantage of as much as they want. But for everybody else, they put a maximum amount that you can put into these policies. So the way the government stopped you from having all of this tax freedom is what they did was they created what's called qualified plans. Now, qualified plans is the IRAs, 401ks, SEP, 403bs, right? Now, Tom Connor says, I had a 401k. I'm reading your comment, Tom. He says, I had a 401k. I suffered a stroke and I needed brain surgery to survive. Wow. Sorry to hear that, Tom. He said, I was a fireman, so I lost my job as I was not physically able to continue to do it. When I withdrew my 401k, they charge you taxes. They charge you a 15% penalty. They would not give you an exception just because of your health issues. They took your money with no exceptions to the rules. They didn't care about what you were going through, right? The government makes billions of dollars per year just off of penalties. People who take money off of their 401k earlier, not including the taxes, right? So, with that being said, you got to keep in mind 1980s is when they came out with this. Now, they have since also come out with Roth 401ks and Roth IRAs, and that's a lot better than the regular 401ks, but you still can't borrow against a Roth IRA. You still have investment risk when it comes to the Roth. I'm not saying don't put your money into Roths because I have some of my money into Roth as well, but I'm just saying don't let that be your only place that you think that you can park your money for tax freedom. Okay. So what the government said is if you put too much money into this particular account, it's going to turn into a MEC. Another term for MEC is a modified endowment contract. What that means is the government, if you exceed that line, can tax your life insurance policy the same way that they tax your IRA and 401k and 403b and yourself. So if I can put in $500 into a life insurance policy, but I can also put in $10,000 into that same life insurance policy, why would I ever put in $10,000 into something that I can just get for 500? I want you to think about that. Why in the heck would I put in 10,000 when I could have just put in $500? Because when I put in the $500, that's called term insurance. Now, term insurance only has one benefit. That is the death benefit. Term insurance is temporary insurance, which means it expires after a certain amount of years. Now, term isn't bad in your earlier years because in your earlier years, you're young, you probably don't have much money, and you probably have a lot of debt that you want to make sure that your family is taken care of if you were to die before that debt is paid off. But long term, when that term expires, your premiums are going to go up through the roof, and you may not even be able to get life insurance at that particular time, right? Insurance companies make more money off of term insurance than any other type of insurance because only 3% of term insurance policies are ever executed. People either die before it's executed or they cancel it because they feel like they don't need it anymore. Now, if I put in $10,000 into the policy, it better be good, which means I better have some good policies. I better have some good benefits from it. So what are some of those good benefits? Well, some of those good benefits is exactly what I told you earlier. That extra money is going straight towards your wealth creation fund. It's going to have tax deferred growth, tax free distributions, competitive returns, high contribution limits, additional benefits, collateral opportunities to borrow. It's going to be safe. You won't lose your money. Guaranteed loan options, no matter your credit score. Unstructured loan payments, which means you're going to be able to get a loan and pay it back when you want to pay it back. Although I do recommend you pay it back because it allows you to borrow more in the future. But if you don't pay it back and if you never pay it back, they're simply going to subtract it from your death benefit plus interest when you die. So if I have $100,000 cash value and a $500,000 death benefit, and I take out a $30,000 loan and I die, they're going to subtract that $30,000 plus interest from the $500,000 death benefit, and my heirs are going to get the difference. Does that make sense to everybody? Also, you're going to have liquidity, use, and control of your money. This is super important. So, if I know this to be true and my money is continuing to grow as if I never touched it when I borrow against it, you got to understand that not every policy can do that, right? Just because you have a permanent policy does not mean it's set up the right way. And this is where most people get it wrong. You don't know how many people have come to me and said, "Oh, I saw your video on YouTube. I saw you with Myron Golden. I saw you, with Earn Your Leisure, and I heard you talking about the life insurance. And I went out because of you. I went out and I got my policy." And I say, "Man, congratulations. What policy did you get?" And they talk about their policy, and I'm just like, on the inside, I'm doing like one of those cringes because they thought they heard me, but they went out and got the wrong type of policy that doesn't really grow the cash value the way that you're supposed to do it. Because if you really structure it the right way, you want to get the lowest amount of death benefit, not the highest death benefit. You actually want the lowest amount of death benefit so that you can get the highest amount of living benefit, which is the cash value. But most people don't teach you this, even if they do show you a permanent policy. Why do you think that is? Somebody write in the chat, why do you think most agents don't show you this? Most insurance companies don't even show you this. It's because life insurance commissions is basically based on the death benefit. So if they structure it for the lowest death benefit, they're essentially earning up to less, not down to 70% less in commission. So don't get me wrong, a man got to eat. I completely understand, but I also understand that it's hard to get a man to understand something that their wallet depends on them not understanding. Does that make sense? They may know it, but choose to forget. Or even more, they may not ever know because their companies didn't teach them this because they don't want all of their agents to go around reducing their top line revenue by 70%. So this is some information that I wish Tanya was still on so she could have got this information earlier. So somebody's going to have to pass this on because this information is critical, right? So let me explain it this way. So this is what you do. You got the insurance company. You put your money with the insurance company and it's building up your cash value. You're simply going to borrow against your cash value by going to the insurance company. Once you get the money, you're going to go buy something. Now, let me ask you a question. Do you think you should buy an asset or should you buy a liability? You should buy an asset, right? So when you buy that asset, now you're going to have a non-structured loan, which means you don't have to pay it back in a structured manner. When you do pay back the insurance company, they're simply going to reduce your collateral. Meanwhile, your money continued to grow uninterrupted as if you never touched it. So let me explain it. this way. Let's just say hypothetically, I have $100,000 in cash, and I'm earning 5%. This is very simple. If I got 100,000, James, am I putting you to sleep? James Rowan, man, I put James to sleep, man. James didn't want this information. James knocked out on this webinar. All right, so let's just say I have $100,000 earning 5%. 1 year later, how much money do I have? 1 year later, how much do I have? Got $100,000 earning 5%. 1 year later, how much money do I have? Write it in the chat. This is super simple. I'm not trying to trick you. All right. 4 people wasn't scared. Okay. Yeah, James just in deep thought right now. So yeah, 105,000 is $105,000. That's how much money I have. Now, but of course, if I took $30,000, from that money, the next year I don't have 105,000 because once I took out 30, I only have 70, so I don't have 105,000. Now let's just say I put $100,000 into properly structured cash value, earning 5%. 1 year later, I got 105,000. But let's reverse it and say I got $100,000 earning 5%, but this time I borrowed $30,000 against my policy. So I got $100,000 earning 5%, but I borrowed $30,000 against my policy. 1 year later, how much money do I have in that insurance policy? Write it in the chat. Got $100,000. I borrowed 30. How much money do I have in that particular money? I only started with 100,000. It's earning 5%, but this time I borrowed 30,000. All right. I'm loving it. I'm seeing a lot of great answers across the board. So here's the deal. So far, I will tell you this. Half of you all got it right, and half of you all did not get it right. And that's okay. But I will tell you this. Half of you in the room your mindset is gonna be blown when you find out this. This is one of those situations that you're gonna unlearn something and make room and capacity for something else. I will tell you, half of you got it right and half of you got it wrong. So if you said 75,000, 70,000, you are incorrect. If you said 105,000, you are correct. Why? Because you actually did not touch the money. The money was still continuing to grow. Remember, you're a wealth creator. So your money still continued to grow as if you never touched it. You did not make a withdrawal. You simply used leverage and borrowed against that money. Your money still continued to grow as if you never touched it. If this is clicking for you now, somebody put like one of those mind blown emojis in the chat. Somebody put a mind blown emoji if it's making sense to you. If it's making sense to you, how your money is still continuing to grow as if you never touched it. If that's making sense to you, I want you to let me know in the chat right now. Let me know that this is making sense. I'm seeing so many mind blown emojis right now because y'all are getting it. Y'all are getting the power of leverage, power of having your money continuing to grow as if you never touched it. Once you get the foundation of this, everything else is going to make sense and you're going to be able to dominate when it comes to financial literacy. All right. We got it. All right, cool. So here's what I want to do. 2 things. So in a minute, I'm going to show you how I've used my money to make me money using my wealth creation fund. I'm going to show you exactly how I did it. But I want to do 2 things for you all first. The first thing that I want to do, and here's the issue. We got 60 free spots left to meet with our team. We got 360 people in this chat right now. So not everybody's going to be able to take advantage of this, but what I do want to do is drop something for you in the chat. First off, I'm going to drop this in the chat. Do not click on this link and schedule if you're not serious about upping your financial game to the next level. Please do not click on this chat. Why? Because we only have 60 spots available. And if you schedule some time and you have no intention of showing up for that call, then you are literally taking away somebody else's spot. So only schedule if you're truly serious about building wealth and you're really serious about doing this the right way. All right. Is that fair enough? So on the count of three, I'm going to go ahead and drop this link. It's a free meeting with my team to help you discuss how to set up your policies the correct way and make it work for you. So on the count of three, we dropping that link. 1, 2, 3. Drop the link. Boom. There's the link in the chat. wealthcreationclass.com. All you have to do is click on that blue link. Do me a favor. Once you click on that link and schedule, type in the word done in the chat so that I know that you got in. It's complimentary. If you attempted to get in and it said no more spots available, let me know that too. So that way we'll know that we're full and there's no more spots available. All right. So please, please, please do that. That would be great. Now, while we're doing that, what I want to do before I kind of show you how I use my wealth creation fund, I'm going to open this up to some Q&A really quick. Remember, I'm going to stop and do Q&A in between what I'm teaching you. So Q&A time. So if you do have a question about what I just taught you, I have 5 levers to wealth creation. Becoming your own bank through life insurance is the first lever, but I also teach you how to build passive income, how to save money on taxes, how to protect your legacy by having the proper documentations in place. I show you how to truly build passive income through real estate and other matters as well. But all we talked about today so far is the life insurance, how to become your own bank. So if you have a question, at the bottom of your screen, it says reactions. Click on the react button and hit the hand raise button.
And Marvin,
What I
real
will
quick,
tell you is that you are sitting in front of, with all due respect, a multimillionaire who's willing to answer questions for you for free. So take advantage of this time. I'm a little bit concerned that out of 350 people in the room, we only have 2 people who have their hands raised when I'm trying to answer your questions. So go ahead. Let's get it. So we got Monica. What's
hey
going on,
Marvin,
Monica?
real quick, brother. They have to have their camera on as well.
You
Okay.
do have to have your camera on, or else we can't get you up here to answer your question. So thank you, Michael, for bringing that up. All right, Monica, what's going on?
Oh, hey Marvin, good to see you again.
Good to see you too. And Monica, and this is for everybody. Before we start, I want you all to start with your name, even though it's listed. My name is blank, and my question is blank. And that way we can kind of get through as many questions as we can in a short amount of time. So go ahead, Monica.
Hi, so my name is Monica Seeley. Um, and my question is that how do you manage when you're on a very fixed type of financial situation?
That's a great question. So the question was, what if you're on a very tight, fixed situation? Um, and how do you manage that? So I've had clients who come in before, Monica, and they've been on a very tight situation. And I don't know if this is your situation or not. I'm just telling you how I've helped others in the past. So the first thing that I've done is I wanted to kind of look at their situation and see how we can help them to find the money. And when I say find the money, there are ways that most people are losing money unknowingly and unnecessarily, and they don't even realize they're losing the money. It can be they're paying high interest credit card debt. It can be they have equity in their house and they're not using that equity correctly. It can be they're overfunding their 401ks because they think that they need to overfund it to save more. It can be the amount of taxes that they're paying. It can be how they pay for their major capital purchases. All of these things are reasons why a person could be tight, but not realize they got an extra $500 to $1,000 sitting there. So I helped this client who They had $50,000 in credit card debt on a tight budget. I promise you, they came into my office. They were arguing the whole time. They were on the verge of divorce. It was horrible because they were so tight when it came to their money. They said, I don't even know why I came because I don't even think there's any way that we can help you. So what we did was we evaluated there's 36 different ways that we help people to find the money. So we just went over the top three with them. And we were able to find out that they were overfunding the 401k. They were paying extra toward the house. They had this high interest credit card debt, but they had equity in the house. So we did a cash out refinance. We helped them to use that equity to pay off their debt. We also stopped the over contributing to the 401k. At the end of the day, we found an extra $2,000 per month by revamping that situation. Now, with that $2,000 that we found, Monica, if we help you to find an extra $1,000 a month, would you spend it or what would you do?
I would invest it in the
Yeah.
high cash yield that you were talking about.
Absolutely.
Whole life insurance.
So that's what they said that they would do. Now, what we ended up telling them to do is take about 75% of that and we're going to invest it, but the other 25% of that money, what we're going to do is we're going to we're going to allow you to enjoy your lifestyle 25% more, right? The other thing is, if we're on a tight income, guess what? Sometimes we just got to learn a hustle, a side hustle, and just make a little bit of extra money. In today's world, it's so easy to make an extra $500 to $1,000 a month. In this AI driven world, it's so easy. The reason why most people don't know about it is because they think it's going to take a lot of effort, but it won't take a lot of effort. There are ways that you can hire virtual assistants, for example, for $6 an hour, and you can have them do all of the work for you and charge somebody else for your services and literally make 10 times more money than you're paying a virtual assistant. There are ways that you can go out there and do an income generating asset. There are just a lot of ways. So my whole point is if you're on a fixed income, first we want to look through your expenses. Are you paying for subscriptions? Are you overpaying for cable bills? Are you doing those? We want to find the money. And after we find the money, we still want to learn to make more money. We don't want to accept the fact that we're on a fixed income. That's where we are now, but that's not where we're going to end up. So that's what I would say to you, Monica. We got to find the money.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. All right. Who else we got? We got Tiffany. What's going on, Tiffany? Tiffany, you're on mute right now. I just unmuted you. How
Okay,
you
can you
doing,
hear
Tiffany?
me?
Yep,
I'm fine. How are you, Marvin? I
I'm doing
just want to
amazing.
say this was absolutely amazing. I've been in the financial world for 20 something years. I've been doing overfunding probably for about 13, 14 of those years.
Nice.
I truly enjoyed it. It was straight, it was to the point. Amazing. I just really wanted to unmute to say you're doing an awesome job.
Thank you.
I hope that when I have this meeting, it is directly with you. I set up for a 15-minute meeting, but I actually hope that it's with you. I would love to speak
Let,
with you about a business opportunity.
let me be clear for you and for everybody, because I'm like I said, I like to be honest.
Sure.
I'm 100% certain that it will not be with me, right?
And is
So
there a way to meet directly with you?
you can join this 5 day challenge, and then once you join the 5 day challenge, we can make that happen. What that is I'm going to offer that today, and it's for a low cost. But what it is, it's one of my programs that I have that I screen out a lot of people. So I get people who are really serious so I can help take them to the next level, whether it be business building opportunities, whether it be how to get assets and all of the other stuff that we teach about. So I will show that in a minute if you stick around. But absolutely, that's one of the easiest ways to get with me, Tiffany.
Okay, yeah, because we do a lot of the same things, but I would love to talk to you about something else. But you guys, this is amazing. I hope you stay on and join. And I do not know
Thank you.
Marvin at all.
I appreciate it. Thank you. All right, we got Brenda. What's going on, Brenda? But guess what? It won't be me, but you'll be
Hello.
meeting with somebody on my team, and everybody on my team has learned to make well over six figures. Some people are making well over six figures per month on my team. So they know these strategies, right? In
Yeah.
fact, I will tell you this, when it comes to meeting with you about your insurance and different things like that, I guarantee you this, you don't want to meet with me. You think you want to meet with me because I'm the one who's speaking. But guess what? My time is spent speaking and marketing and helping people and growing. If you expected me to be the one that's going to follow up on your cases and making sure everything is done with submission, I will tell you I'm the worst person ever to help you with that, which is why we got a team that's all that they do is follow up and make sure that all of your dreams and goals come to life. What's going on, Brenda?
Yeah, I can't get my camera on. I thought I had it on. I have a new computer and I'm
That's okay. I
sliding.
can hear you. Go ahead.
Okay, great. Listen, I want to thank you too for what you're sharing with us today. And I have a 401k and a 403b, and I want to
Mhm.
know how to use that money without being charged taxes for taking it out in order to use it like you're telling us.
You said the 401k, 403b. Do you
Yeah.
still work at the job?
No, we were bought out, so then a lot of us left.
Great
But I've been
question. So
keeping
the
in close contaction. Yeah.
first thing you want to do is you want to get that money rolled over into an IRA. We may
Okay.
be able to help you with that. So you roll the
Okay.
money over into an IRA.
Mhm.
You still, and I should ask this, Brenda, you sound like, just say yes or no. Are you under the age of 55? It definitely sounds like it.
No, I'm 63.
Oh, wow. Okay. Okay. Well, I'm glad I asked because that changes things. Um, because if you're 63, you have access to that money without a penalty. So what I would say is, if you will message me your information, I can have someone on my team reach out to you because there's definitely ways that you can access that money for a lot of different things. But the number one thing would be to roll it over, and we could definitely help you with that, Brenda.
I need
But
it.
Brenda, I don't know you got to tell me message
Oh,
me your first and your last name and
yes.
also how to get in contact with you.
Okay, I'm sorry. It's Armstrong. I forgot to put in Armstrong. But yeah,
Okay.
I'll get in touch with Sheila on your team and then I'll give everything to her.
That works out.
Thank you.
Um, Sheila, who was Sheila? So on my team, you wanna talk to actually Tam. Tam, if you're on the line right now, I'm gonna bring Tam up really quick. Tam, are you available? This is important. You driving, but I'm gonna get you really quick. So Tam is one of our financial advisors on our retirement side. Um, and she's gonna explain to you all what we do on the retirement side. Because we got an insurance division, but I've also been in this industry for 20 years. My bread and butter is on the retirement side. And again, we typically work with people between the ages of 55 and 70. That's our sweet spot on the retirement side to help them to protect their money, grow their wealth, and increase their income and minimize their taxes. Um, so what I want to do today is have Tam explain what we do on that side that might be a little bit of different on what we do on the insurance side.
Yes. Hi, everybody. I am driving.
Oh,
I'm
wait a minute.
taking.
Are you driving? Can you talk right now?
Yes. I'm on the way to take my daughter to soccer practice, but it's okay. It's fine. So I am one of the financial advisors on Marvin's team. That's why I was laughing when he said you don't want him helping you do stuff because he does spend all of his time being a CEO. So he did build it from the ground up, but he's built a great team that, everybody's operating under his mindset and under his vision. So a big part of what I do is assisting retirees to retire successfully. And what that means is that we've got to uncover a lot of key areas or several different key areas that impact your retirement, for better or for worse, if you will. So we have a plan that we call the route plan, route being an acronym that stands for risk, optimized income, unexpected health issues, taxes, and estate planning. So what we do for the retirees that we serve, typically, like Marvin said, 55 and up, 59 and a half and older being that, magic number, if you will, where you can roll over with no penalties. And of course, there's no tax consequences, etc. But what we want to do is truly dissect not just your portfolio, because yes, retirement is about your investments, but it's also about other things. So we want to dissect your full retirement as far as your goals, what you plan to do, and create a custom plan that's built on those 5 foundational points that I just spoke about. So risk, meaning, what's the amount of risk that you're currently exposed to, and are you comfortable with that? So many people that I meet with have no idea how much risk they're taking in their portfolio, and they think they're conservative, but they're really not. They think they're conservative, but if there's a major market correction, their portfolio could lose up to 49%. And when you bring that to the forefront, the question just becomes, would you like to make any changes? What would you like to do? So risk is a big part. Optimizing your income. The biggest question is, do I have enough? How much is enough? And the truth is that it truly depends on your situation. So if you're meeting with other advisors or other investment firms where they're giving you this cookie cutter, one size fits all answer, you need to be leery of that and proceed with caution, because there is no magic number. It depends on your situation, your income, your expenses, your goals, the things that you have plans for. So optimizing income is number 2. Unexpected health issues, a lot of that is solved with what Marvin is talking about today. And all 5 of these areas, all 5 of these points, they stand alone, but they're all very interconnected. So unexpected health issues, meaning more so long-term care, and keyword being unexpected. Nobody plans to get sick. So how do you make sure, God forbid, if something comes up, you get sick, or, you lose a spouse, that drastically changes what your original retirement plans were. So we look at unexpected health issues, and we like to look at alternative strategies such as cash value life insurance to make sure our clients have adequate coverage for if something comes up. That way they don't have to drain their savings due to a medical crisis. And then there's taxes. Everybody loves to talk about taxes and figure out how to lower future taxation. So we don't look at tax planning like a annual, let's save you on income taxes this year. We're looking at how can we drastically minimize your taxation over the next 30 plus years in your retirement. Most of the time, with the proper execution of the planning, we can save clients at least 30, 40 lifetime, not to mention several hundreds of thousands of dollars for their heirs. And then lastly is the estate plan. So the estate plan is just putting a big pretty bow on, all of the things that you put into place. So making sure that upon death, or if you become incapacitated, your assets transfer the way you want them to transfer, or decisions are made based on what you wanted. So being straightforward, do you have a will and or trust along with the power of attorney documents to support that? And a lot of families don't. They leave it up to chance. And how many of us have had family members that have passed away, and you've got some family member digging through their paperwork trying to figure out who's getting what, causing family feuds and all kinds of things like that. So we look at all 5 areas, and we're actually very proud that we offer wills and trust and estate planning at no extra charge to our clients. We believe that it's important. So, if it's important to you, it's important to us, which is why it's a part of our route plan. So in a nutshell, those are the 5 key areas that we're going to address and make sure that, the plan is set and we continue to work the plan. It's not a one transaction type of meeting. We're building a relationship with you throughout your retirement so you can continue to make good decisions and you can continue to stay on the right route, essentially.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Thank you, Tam. Tam is crushing it as an advisor right now, and she's going to continue to crush it. So some of you all might have an opportunity to meet with Tam. Now, not everybody qualifies for a lot more people qualify for our insurance side. Not a lot of people qualify for our retirement side. We do work with people typically on the retirement side that's over the age of 55 and typically between 55 and 70, and they have over $250,000 already saved in their investment and retirement account. So let me just ask a question really quick and be honest. Don't put a 1 if you not, right? How many of you are have over 250,000 saved for your retirement and you're over the age of 55, if you have that, put a 1 in the chat. If you have over $250,000 saved and you are over the age of 55, put a 1 in the chat. And I'll get back to the rest of the information in a second, but I'm just taking a quick detour. Okay, cool, cool. So here's what I'm gonna do. Long as you're not too far under the age of 55. But here's what I'm gonna do. Again, if you have over $250,000 saved and you're over the age of 55, I'm gonna drop a link in the chat. This is a special link for the retirement side to get scheduled with my team. So I want you all to click only the ones. Now remember, I don't want to see 200 meetings scheduled on this one because when only about 12 of you actually raised your hand. It said I was. So I'm gonna go ahead and drop that link in the chat. And this is only for the people who are over 55 and have over $250,000 saved. You can click on that link right now and schedule. And it's just a 15-minute strategy session to determine if we might be a good fit for you and if we can help you. So once you click on that link and schedule, do me a favor and type in the word done. And that way we know that you scheduled. Again, this is complimentary as well. But again, this is only the retirement side. Over the age of 55, over $250,000 saved. Click on that link, schedule, and type in the word done. Okay. Now, with that being said, I am going to go back to a couple more questions, then I'm going to get into the next lesson. So we had Thomas. What's going on, Thomas?
I'm trying to, you got me on the volume?
Yes, sir.
All right, how you doing, Marvin? My name is Thomas Hunter. And so I'm in a situation right now to where I'm house hunting for a house. And in my pre-approval stage, now that I'm starting to follow you and take some of your trainings, now because you will always have to spend a chunk of money to be able to, for a down payment on a home, I'm listening to you. I'm like, well, why don't I just take my money and put in an insurance policy and borrow against it? And
Yeah.
the reason that that's still in question for me is because you also mentioned that when you do borrow using your money as collateral, you want to buy an asset. To purchase a home to live in, would that be an asset or a liability? And do you think that's something I should consider?
So it depends on how that's a great question. So your home could be a liability or your home could be an asset. That's a great question. So for me, I just bought me a house um in over in St. Louis in the Ladue area. Now I bought this house and I was gonna have to have a pretty significant down payment. Now I did dump my money into the policy. And I did because it was going to be well above even the 10%, 20%. I wanted to get a super low interest rate. So I wanted to I dumped in about 500 grand into this house, right? As a down payment. So I dumped all of that money into the insurance policy first. Okay. And then I borrowed against that to pay the down payment. Now that 150,000, 500,000 is still growing tax free as if I never touched it. Now, in my case, the reason why I said it isn't a liability is because I'm going to let that equity build, right? Now, by me letting that equity build, if I just let the equity build and did nothing else, it's a liability because I got maintenance, I got all of this stuff. But if I'm going to borrow against that equity in the future to buy assets, now think about it. I didn't use any of my own money. I put the money into the life insurance policy. It's still growing as if I never touched it. I borrowed it for the down payment. Using the equity that grows without any of my own money, I can borrow against the equity and now I can buy other assets. And now I'm making multiple assets happen when I never had to use my own money. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So as long as you use the house equity to get the assets, then you still made it all work. Now, if you just get the house and you never use the equity out of the house and you just say you just got the house, now it's a liability. Make sense?
Okay.
All right, you got it, man. You're on the right track. All right. One more Melody, and then what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna keep answering questions too. But what I'm gonna do is after I talk to Melody, I'm gonna show you all how I've used my policy. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna show you all a program that I do to help people to go to the next level, where I'm helping thousands of people go to the next level. So I'm going to show you that next. And I got a special deal for you that's crazy. It's going to be 50% off. I never offer 50% off. So I'm going to show you this in just a second. But go ahead, Melody.
Hello, my name is Melody, and my question is, well, actually, I was listening to what you were just saying to the other gentleman. So, and this was not my original question, but this has now it is one of my questions. But according to what you told him, so would you advise to take out equity and put it into insurance policy?
Ooh, that's a great question. Now you talking. Here's what here's what I'm going to say to you, Melody. I am a securities licensed SEC advisor, and I've had my license for 20 years. And it is against compliance. It is not compliant for me to say that you can take money out of equity in your house and put it into an insurance policy.
Gotcha. I got you. Okay, so the other question then is, because I have gosh, I can't think of what it's called, the insurance policy that has the compounded interest and all that stuff to it. So my question is, will someone be able to look at that with me, go over it and see if it's worth me keeping that and doing something else, or?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, just schedule that time with my insurance team. We can help you. But what I will say, Melody, here's what. So I can't say to do that. I can't say to use equity to put into an insurance. But what I will say, what I will say is, I have something that I call the four-way play. It's a framework for many people to build a lot of wealth, and I follow this same framework myself for years, right?
What is it
And it's a
called?
way to use. What's that?
What did you call it?
I call it the four-way play.
Oh, okay.
Four-way
Way play.
play,
Okay.
and I made that name up. So
Okay.
you can't find it anywhere else, but I made that name up. But let me tell you how it works.
Okay.
So, so I fund my life insurance policy, like Thomas was talking about. If I get the money, I'm going to fund my life insurance policy. Then I'm going to go out and get funding, especially if you can get business funding, even better. I want to get funding where I can get like, high credit cards, high whatever. I want to get all of that, right? And then credit cards. So I want to get a high balance on my credit card if I can. Then what I want to do is I want to use that credit and turn it into cash. And you can do that. There are ways you can turn that credit into cash. Then I want to go out and use that payment to get me a down and use it as a down payment for a property. So now what I'm going to do is immediately take the money, borrow against my life insurance policy, and immediately pay off that credit card because I don't want to get tapped with any interest.
Okay.
Now I have my life insurance policy growing as if I never touched it. Now I have zero balance on a credit card, but I got all of the points on that credit card for travel, for hotels, for rewards. And I have me an asset that's producing me income. Now I want to take that income and I want to start paying off the insurance loan that I took.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, over time, my equity is growing in that house. So then I want to borrow against that equity in that house and I want to buy me another property. Now I got two properties that's producing income that's being used to pay off that insurance policy. So now I'm recycling that over and over. And then the next thing I want to do, if you really want to get spicy, I'm going to get me a trust and I'm going to wrap everything into the trust so that I own nothing and control everything. So that
Gotcha.
is the cycle. So again, I didn't necessarily use my equity to put it into an insurance policy. I used my equity to buy another property to pay off the insurance policy. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So anyway, that's called the four-way play. I've been doing that over and over. That's
Okay.
crazy. Some of y'all got that. Some of y'all got that. Appreciate it, Melody.
Thank you.
Absolutely. So here's what I'm gonna do. Thank you, Kimberly, for notating and giving great notes in the chat. But I got more questions. But what I want to do is really quick. I'm going to show you all how I've used my policy, and then I'm going to show you give you an offer of something that honestly you probably can't refuse because it's going to be a no-brainer. You talk about a no-brainer offer. It's a no-brainer offer. So let me show you really quick. Here we go. Are y'all getting some value from this today? Awesome. So really quick, I'm gonna show y'all this, but I just want to let y'all know that number one thing I want to tell y'all that manifestations are real. First off, for me to be growing up poor in the projects, to being able to do some of the things I'm about to show you right now, is pretty amazing. But what it also shows me is that anybody can, if you truly believe, and if you truly put your mind to it and you dedicate yourself and commit yourself, anything is possible for you. And you're not too young and you're not too old. We got to stop thinking in terms of age, right? We got to think about if we are living and breathing right now, we have an opportunity to make something happen. Manifestations are real. You know, this is my mentor. Anybody know Myron Golden? One of my mentors. So Myron Golden, yeah, one of my mentors. I'm one of his store students, right? I was able to do $5 million in a day, not once but twice, out of that teaching, right? But I paid about $250,000 for some mentorship. So I believe in paying people who are skilled, who can teach me something. This is me winning the 2 Comma Club Award by Russell Brunson. And I've been able to have TD Jakes as one of the keynote speakers on my stage. I've I've been on featured on the Breakfast Club with Charlemagne the God. Just amazing stuff. Magic Johnson had him on my platform. Grant Cardone. I'm on the news every single week. I've had a deal with the news for the last 5 years where I'm featured on the news. Here I am with David Shands on one of his popular podcasts. Um, I talked about the breakfast Club. I was elected into the Hall of Fame for financial advisors in 2022, the youngest person ever elected into the Hall of Fame, and it's only the second African American ever elected into the Hall of Fame. It's just been a blessing. I've written 6 different books. Um, my passive income, seeing my account just grow, just been amazing. I own my building of my financial firm, been able to fly on private jets, own a Cullinan, a Lamborghini, just sold that just a couple of months ago. Actually, my favorite car, believe it or not, was my Range Rover, not the Lamborghini, not the Rolls Royce. It was my Range Rover, and I missed that car because it got flooded. It stormed real bad, and my Range Rover was underwater. And now I own a BMW, but I missed the Range Rover. So anyway, most importantly, I've been able to give back to the community a lot of money, hundreds of thousands of dollars. I've been able to give back, from scholarships to Cancer Association to Kidney Association, a lot of different things. But my passion and my goal is to help 200 people become passive income millionaires. If you want to be one of those people, let me see you put a me in the chat. That is my goal. I want to create people who make more money in income, passive income, than they're spending. And that's what's really going to create financial freedom. That's what I'm looking to do. And as I mentioned, I discovered that there are 5 key levers to that. Number one is leveraging your life insurance to become your own bank, improving your personal and credit, building or acquiring a profitable business, creating passive income by investing in assets, and also protecting your trust. So this is how I've used my wealth creation fund. I bought with 2 other partners. I bought a 76 unit property, and I was able to use my life insurance to do so, and it made me 15 grand a month. This is my $2 million house in Atlanta that I don't even live in Atlanta, but I rent out that house and make about 15 grand a month just off of renting it out to luxury renters. I've traded options borrowing money from my policy. I was able to buy that Lamborghini using my policy. I've done hard money lending using my policy where I've loaned other people's money. My money kept growing as if I never touched it. So leveraging life insurance has truly gave me financial freedom, and it truly can do the same thing with you. You just got to learn the game, and you got to learn the system. And by the way, James is still asleep. James been asleep for the whole webinar. Man, somebody got to wake James up. There you go. James is up. There's James. I woke him up. I see you. All right. So look, I'm telling you all that leveraging life insurance has changed my life and it's changed many other people's lives of who I know. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you a super special offer that I never do. I'm telling y'all, I never do this, but I'm going to do this all for you because you just sat with me for 2 hours. And I want to see many of you take advantage of this. And the reason why is that if you want to have an abundance of a harvest, you first have to drop a seed out of your hand. Okay. Too many people are holding on to their seed, thinking that their seed is a harvest. When you multiply something, multiply means you got to drop something into good soil and see if it'll manifest and multiply by 10. That's what it means to multiply something. You must plant a seed and then you multiply. And you don't eat the apples before the apples have an opportunity to mature. And you want to create money, baby. I know that most people, when they don't pay attention. So I'm gonna have you put just a little bit, and when I say a little bit, I mean a really little bit of skin in the game to see if you are really serious about wealth creation, right? Because if you just said that, hey, I want to be one of those 200 people, but you're not even willing to drop a little bit of seed, first off, you're not coachable. Second off, you're not really that serious. Or third, you just haven't learned how to create it. So I'm going to show you that really quick. This is called my Transform Your Wealth Challenge. It is possible. So this is 5 days. So in just 5 days, I'm going to show you how to level up your wealth. So in this Transform Your Wealth Challenge, you're going to learn the wealth creator's mindset, where we're going to uncover the truth about outdated financial advice that leads to financial destruction. We're going to talk about how I'm going to show you my actual policies, multiple policies, and I own 7. I'm going to show you how I've structured them for maximum success, exactly how I built them, exactly how it works, exactly how I borrowed against them. So you don't want to miss that. We're also going to show you how I've used life insurance to both eliminate debt and also how I've used it to invest in real estate. So this is super powerful. You can become your own bank with real estate as well. I'm going to show you how to make this money and manifest this money. Remember, you all have it. And if you feel that you don't have it, we got to change our words. Death and life is in the power of your tongue. You have not because you ask not. You got to seek and you're going to find. So I'm telling you, I'm giving you an opportunity on how to stop passing over opportunities repeatedly. That's what poor means, P-O-O-R, passing over opportunities repeatedly. I'm going to show you how to maximize your wealth through different types of investments. I'm also going to show you how to control everything and own nothing. I'm going to show you how you can actually access up to $150,000 in funding to even fuel your wealth building journey, while also learning how to structure a trust that allows you to control everything while legally owning nothing, giving you maximum financial security and flexibility. And I'm going to go deeper into that 4-way play and show you exactly how to do it. So this is for you if you feel capped in your income, you always feel overworked, you can't seem to break the wealth barrier, you believe you're worth much more, or you're concerned that your hard-earned money is just not being maximized the way it should to scale. If any of these sentiments resonate with you, then you're not alone. There are many people who go through the same thing. There are a lot of in and outs when it comes to growing your wealth, but I'm going to teach you and empower you with the secrets of the 1%. So there are two different experiences that you can take advantage of: the platinum experience or the VIP experience. The poor acronym was passing over opportunities repeatedly. Passing over opportunities repeatedly. Write this down too. The acronym of NOW, NOW, means no opportunity wasted. No opportunity wasted. See, a lot of people don't take action and they waste opportunities. And what you got to understand is that procrastination is the assassination of your destination. Excuses are tools of the incompetent. They build monuments of nothingness, and those that dwell upon them are seldom good for anything. How many of you have heard that? If you're in a fraternity and sorority, I know you've heard that. So platinum experience, right? It's 5 days of training by me. You're going to get our private Facebook community. You're going to get a pre-challenge kickoff party, which this is a special offer, by the way, which is I highly recommend. You're going to get our exclusive virtual hub. You're going to get our dedicated workbook. And you will have the ability to attend a Q&A and ask questions directly with me each day. You're going to get, and it's going to be a small, intimate group. You're going to get a platinum only networking night, and you're going to get a platinum only Telegram group. Now, the total value of this platinum to be able to do this and show up on Zoom and have me to reveal all of my secrets is $1,500. But guess what? Today, I would say I was going to offer it to you for $497. Actually, no. If you join today, it says $397. But get this, I'm going to do something even more crazier. For the platinum today, I'm going to give you 50% off my already extremely discounted offer. So instead of $397, if you take action during this call, only this call, I promise you, this is the only time I'm doing this. Not tomorrow, not the next day. Some people are in here already or in the mentorship who got into the challenge and they paid the $397. And that's fine. And don't hate, don't get mad because you paid the $397 and somebody else is going to get an opportunity. If you are already in here and you paid the $397, put a 1 in the chat. So this is not me making this up. This is really a real opportunity for you to take advantage of this one-time offer. I'm never doing this again. You get an opportunity to take advantage of this. So again, $397 divided by 2, because it's 50% off, is $198.50. You can do this today. Now I'm only going to do 40 tickets at that price. I'm only going to do 40 tickets because I still got to be profitable in some kind of way, right? Or you can do the VIP admission and you don't get the networking night, you don't get the Telegram group, you don't get Q&A. And by the way, the price of that is $197. So you can pay $197 for VIP, or you can pay $198 for the platinum experience. I mean, when I say this deal is crazy, you want to make sure that you take advantage of this today. So this is all virtual. It comes with a satisfaction guarantee for platinum. So what that means is if you go through this and you don't feel that you got the value from this program, we're going to refund you as long as you showed up for it, right? So this is crazy. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and drop this. The first 40 people who take advantage will get this for only $198 instead of $397. So on the count of 3, we're going to go ahead and drop the link. 1, 2, 3. Go ahead and drop that link. Okay, drop the link. Okay, cool. We already dropped the link. So all you got to do is click on that blue link in the chat and go ahead and get your ticket. Now, I think it says $397. Now, Michael, when they check out, is it just going to automatically go to the $198, or is there some type of coupon that they have to type in?
So this is a very exclusive. This is not going to be found anywhere on the internet. So just so you guys know, this is nowhere to be found. So you have to use the coupon code Bootcamp50. All right, Bootcamp50. So you have to apply that in the coupon code session there at checkout, but use promo code bootcamp50 for 50% off. Okay. So I typed it in the chat so you guys can see it, but it's there. And it should be on the checkout page there whenever you guys, there should be a little just reminder at the top that says use code bootcamp50 for 50% off. So you guys should be able to see that on the platinum checkout. So this is only for the platinum. So make sure that when you guys go there, you use it there. Okay. Bootcamp
Yep.
50, no spaces. It should be good there. All right.
So while you all are doing that, and I'm gonna shout out the first few people who take action. In fact, I might even have a giveaway for the first 5 people who take action. So there's a story about a parable of the talents. Okay, how many of y'all have heard of the parable of the talents in the Bible? All right, so I'm about to tell you a spin to it that you probably never thought about. So the parable of the talents, there was a master, he came, and if you already paid, I love you, but this one doesn't apply to you. This is giving people an opportunity right now, and we're gonna celebrate. We're gonna learn how to celebrate other people's wins. So if you pay the $3.97, don't get mad. I promise you, this is something special. I had it on my heart to do only for today. I still want you to be in the challenge, right? Because this isn't something that I do every day. All right, here we go. So there was a master. He came, and what he did was he wanted to invest and give people an opportunity to multiply the money. So he went to 3 different people. He gave one person 1 talent according to his ability. He gave another person 2, and he gave another person 5 talents. And then he went away. The person that he gave 1 talent to, that person was so afraid that he would lose it that he buried that talent into the ground, because he said that I know that the master is a person that reaps in places that he does not sow. And basically, I'm not going to lose this money, so I'm going to bury it and I'm going to protect it. He's not about to be mad at me, right? When he comes back, I'm going to dig this up and I'm going to give it to him. The second person, he took some risk and he invested and he multiplied that money and he doubled it. The person that he gave 5 to, he multiplied that money and put some risk to it and he doubled that money. So he turned 2 to 4 and the other one turned 5 to 10. The master came back to collect his money. The person who he gave 1 talent to, he dug up and attempted to recoup that talent, but the master was so upset that he didn't multiply the money and that he just saved the money, that he cast that person away, where he said there would be reaping and gnashing of teeth, which is basically hell. And he took that money and gave it to the one who turned 5 to 10. Now, my question for you is, who is the hero of that story? Who is the hero in that story? Hearing a lot of answers. Here's another thing. The hero in this story. Oh, let me tell you this before I tell you the hero. If you do platinum, I want you to show up every day. I definitely want you to show up every day. But platinum is the only one that comes with the recordings that you can keep. So even if you have to miss a day or so, you still get the recordings if you do platinum. So even at that discount, just for the recordings, it's worth it. But the hero in that story wasn't the one who turned 2 to 4. It wasn't even the person who turned 5 to 10. The hero in that story was the master. Why? Because the master came and he invested his money according to each person's ability, which means he already knew person who had 1 wasn't going to do that great. He knew that the person he gave 5 was going to do the right thing and multiply that money. He knew the person he gave 2 was going to multiply that money, but the person he gave 1 to was a person he wasn't sure about, but he wanted to give him a chance to be speculative. Now, when he found out that it wasn't working, he came. First off, he was on vacation, letting his money work for him while he was sitting on the beach, probably sipping on some pina colada. Then he came back, and then He took the person who wasn't performing and gave it to the person who was performing. I want y'all to understand that all he was doing was using other people's talents, other people's skills, other people's time, which is exactly the same thing that I'm trying to tell you. He was being a wealth creator. Now, the first thing I got to get you to get out of the mindset of being like the person who he had one, who was a saver, or even the person who he gave 2 to 5. And I want you to understand, how can you learn to leverage your time and gain freedom, gain peace of mind, gain clarity, gain confidence, gain comfort, gain understanding? And you do that by learning the principles of a wealth creator. And that's what I'm wanting to teach you in this 5-day challenge, should you take action. But you have to want it. Not everybody wants it. But what I want to do is give a shout out to a few people really quick. First off, I want to give a shout out to Katina Wise. Katina Wise was the first one to take action on this. So shout out to you, Katina. You're gonna get my $2,000 course absolutely for free. Mia Tennant, you're absolutely gonna get as well my $2,000 course for free, and you only have to pay $198.50 to get it. I'm gonna give you that absolutely for free. This is 56 modules that I'm gonna walk you through all of this life insurance stuff step by step by step. Mia Tennant, I'm gonna do 5. Mia Tennant, Corlos Tuitt. Congratulations, Corlos. You were number 3, so you're gonna get that course as well. Melody Peters, she had a question today, and she also got her platinum ticket. So congratulations to you, as well as James Stallings. Congratulations to you. Those are the 5 that are getting the course. Congratulations. So you're going to get emailed that course absolutely no cost, just for being fast. Understanding that fast action takers or money makers, success loves speed. Now, I also want to give a shout out to some of the other people who took action. TJ Hillard, congratulations to you. Although you don't get the course, you were close. Congratulations, though. Shamika Rogers, congratulations to you. Brandy Blanton, Cammy, Marcus Mitchell. Man, Marcus Mitchell, man, that's close to my name, Marvin Mitchell. What's up, Marcus Mitchell? Greg Hill, Tashana Johnson, Clyde, Denise Dixon, congratulations to you. Trinice Patterson, congratulations. Sheila, congratulations. Sheila, your platinum ticket, you didn't put in the coupon code, Sheila. It charged you $397. So my team is going to reach out to you to refund the rest. Sheila, you paid $397 because you did not put in the coupon code. So my team will refund you the rest. Corman, congratulations to you. Tasha Bullitt, congrats to you. Leslie Hawkins, congrats on getting your platinum ticket. Vanessa Pimentel, congratulations to you. Alejandro, congrats to you. Now, Alejandro, you bought the VIP for $197. Did you really want the VIP, or were you attempting to pay $1 extra to get platinum? That's up to you. You might have made a mistake. Tanya Davis, congratulations to you, Tonia Davis. Sandra Moliere, congratulations to you. LaGuan Aubrey, congratulations. Deanna Whitley, also congratulations. We got about 16 spots left, 17 spots left. So go ahead and take advantage of it, because once we are done with that price, we are done, and then we go back to the $397. So don't miss that. Take advantage of that. Corman said, I've already attended 3 of your challenges and you keep coming back. So that must mean it's good, hopefully. Alejandro, my team will reach out to you, Alejandro, and make sure that you do get your platinum. So, okay, while we are waiting, I want to go ahead and go back to, man, there was a few people with their hands up earlier with questions. I want to answer a couple more questions, and then if we have I don't know if well, let me check before I nope. Okay. So before I teach my last lesson really quickly, let's go back and answer some questions. I don't know who had their hands up. We must have removed them. Do you know, Michael, who one of the people who was in line?
I don't, but they can just use the hand raise feature again and we'll pull them
All right.
up.
What's
So
going on? What's going on, Lo? How's it going?
Hey, hey, doing fine. This is Angelo Dennis.
Angelo,
Um,
what's going on?
hey, doing fine. Hey, I got a question. What if while you're funding your IUL, something happened to you as far as losing your job or health takes its toll? Ooh, what to expect then?
So I guess it depends on how far you are in the process. I mean, if you already got approved, you already got approved. Now sometimes when you do get approved, they will ask you, has anything changed since the time that you applied? And of course, if you say yes, something has changed, this health status, then they're going to want to go back and they're going to want to reevaluate that approval. So it is possible that if something changes during that particular process and you let them know that something has changed, it is absolutely possible that they can reverse that decision. All right. So go ahead.
What if, just say if you're like 6 months into funding your account and something happens?
So you're
What would
funding
happen
the
to the
account?
money? Hmm?
Okay, so you're not just trying to get approved. You already have it, and you're saying, what if you're funding it?
Yeah,
Okay, I
exactly.
got you. So there's different types of so for example, I have policies that have what's called a waiver of premium. Waiver of premium means if I get sick and have some kind of disability or something like that, then and I can prove that they would have to cover my premiums for me while I'm in that situation. That's a certain rider called waiver of premium rider. Every permanent policy, whole life policy should we do that on every single permanent whole life policy. We add that waiver of premium onto it. But if you don't have it, and so let's just say you're overfunding the policy and you're putting $10,000 into that policy hypothetically. Well, remember you're overfunding the policy. So let's say that the premium was only really for the death benefit was only 1,000, but you're putting in 10,000. Well, as long as you fund it for $1,001, which is more than the death benefit cost, that policy can stay alive. Now you're not going to be building the cash value, but you don't have to overfund it every year because you're putting extra toward it to overfund it. The third thing that you can do is you can use your cash value to pay for premiums while you're going through that situation until you find another job until you recover. So
What
there
does
are
that
some
mean?
options. So you remember you got cash value, so you can use some of that cash value to pay your premiums if an emergency came up. Make sense?
Yes.
All right. Thank you, sir.
All
Appreciate
right.
it. Okay, what's going on, Valerie? All right, y'all. We got about 9 spots left, by the way. So hopefully y'all are not procrastinating. What's going on, Valerie?
Hi, can you hear me?
I can.
Okay, hi. First of all, thank you for doing this. I do have a question, and I am retired, and right now I'm just living off my pension. I'd like to
Hmm.
get more information about using life insurance policy to help build wealth.
Yeah. So you're retired and you're living off of your pension.
Yes.
So does that mean you don't have Social Security?
As a federal employee,
Oh, you're a federal employee?
yeah,
Okay. But as a federal employee, you got a pretty nice pension though.
yes, sir.
Okay. What about TSP? Did you save in the thrift savings plan?
I did not.
Okay. So it's just your pension. Now, do you have a home that
Yeah,
you have or paying on? Do you have equity in that home?
yes.
Okay. Um, do you are you tight or do you have a little more cash flow coming in than expenses?
I am tight.
Okay. So really for you, the situation would be, I don't know if the first thing I would look at is actually getting the life insurance policy to build cash value because you really are tight. But the only thing that you do have an advantage of is you do have an advantage of if you got equity in your home. What I would do if I were you, if you were my mom, I would probably tell you to start using some of the equity because you need to make more money because right now you're on a fixed income and you need an additional fixed income since you don't have Social Security. So what I would do is I would borrow from my policy and find me a high cash flowing real estate property. I would borrow from that equity for the down payment. I would get that property and I would keep getting multiple properties because you need to generate another $2,000 to $3,000 a month of cash flow, and that's one of the easiest ways to do it. And then once you get that cash flow, then you can start thinking about getting a life insurance policy later.
Okay. All right.
Make
Thank you.
sense?
That was helpful. Thank you.
Absolutely. Appreciate you. All right, we got last question here. We got iPhone. Well, we had iPhone. What's going on, iPhone?
How you doing, Marvin?
What's your
You hear
name
me?
first?
My name is Jared O'Kona.
Okay, how you doing, Jared?
I'm doing good. I asked a question in the chat, maybe it got lost in there. I
Mhm.
paid for access. I'm trying to understand what books and resources was that for like this Zoom meeting.
I can chime in
Oh,
there, Marvin, to make it easy for you.
yeah, go ahead. Go ahead,
So
Michael.
what we did was people that got VIP, we did sell where you guys can get replays for this right here. So we're going to resend this out. I don't believe that option is available anymore, but that was for those that jumped in. So we'll be sending you that. And then we're going to send you a PDF summary of this entire talk. So if you're like, yo, I just want a rundown about everything, we're going to send you like a 5 to 10 page document breaking down everything Marvin talked about. And that'll be delivered to you by end of week.
Okay, thank you.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you, Michael. All right. Do we have anyone else? Desiree, you gotta have on your camera though, Desiree. By the way, while we waiting on Desiree, shout out to some more people. We got Lagon Arbery, we got Deanna Whitley, we got Blair Smith, Evan Connolly, we got Edelyn Oranda, we got Theon Kalonji, and I think we got about 5 spots left. So if you still want to get in, we are running out of. You'll still be able to buy for $397, but we're running out of the discount code. In fact, that code Bootcamp 50 only allows 40 people to get it at that discount, and you won't be able to use it anymore. And one more person just got it, which is Jin Cha. I probably said that completely wrong. JNCHA. So that means we got less than 4 spots available. So take advantage of it. All right. So what's going on, Tashana?
Hello. Um, is there going to be a time where we have individual consultations? Because I know I just got the packet where I'm in the group, but I do better learning one-on-one. Because if I have
When
to,
you say you're in a group, what group are you referring to?
well, the one that I just purchased.
This one right here?
Yes.
Yeah, so we do have a higher level, which is my inner circle mentorship, and we have coaches that do one-on-ones with you periodically, in fact, like monthly in certain situations, and you have more access to me on that one. This next one is not necessarily one-on-one. It's more so it's still a group, but it's a smaller group. And what we're doing is we're really taking the time to dissect a lot of these wealth building principles. Now, if you're just looking to have some one-on-one time to talk about your investments or insurance, you can absolutely just schedule some time with my team and they can help you with that. But if it's more so about one-on-one about like how to like build assets step by step and how to do the real estate and how to do that, that's more so joining my challenge and then joining my inner circle, which you will have an opportunity to see about that shortly.
Okay. I just didn't want to get to the point where I'm stopping every so often to ask
Right.
questions. I'm taking away from everyone else.
So,
No, you'll be surprised on how quickly I can help you to get to an answer when you do
well,
that 5-day challenge.
so being a teacher, you sort of have to adjust or accommodate everybody's learning ability
Hmm.
and apply it to them, but still have to adjust the whole group. So that's why I asked, is there a
Absolutely.
where I might, because I ask questions. I ask
I
questions.
get you. We'll see you in the challenge. I can't promise you, will promise you you'll get everything, but you'll find out that a lot of me just listening to the teacher, you're going to learn a lot just by what I teach. A lot of your questions are going to be answered just by what I teach, and you'll be able to come back and ask questions the next day, every day.
Okay.
Appreciate you.
And what I'll say, Marvin, I just wanted to come up here and speak to that. The platinum challenge ticket that you're about to receive,
Mhm.
it comes with 30 minutes of Q&A with Marvin and the group. But people leave the challenge saying the teaching was great, but Marvin, those Q&A sessions were my favorite. They were like, I didn't think I was going to come in and be able to get anything out of those Q&A sessions because there's going to be too many people. But they leave, they're like, I got my questions answered. I even learned from other people's questions because
Right.
believe it or not, we think we're unique, which we are, but there's a lot of people that have the same questions and same scenarios as us, right? And so you get to pull from them, and then sometimes people ask questions, you're like, wow, I didn't even think to ask that, but that I do wonder that, right? So just jump into platinum, y'all, because the Q&A sessions are fire. And Marvin's known to over deliver. He didn't talk about all the guests he's going to be bringing in. He didn't mention any of the extra bonuses that aren't on the site, but we always over deliver. And Miss Carmen says she's been on 3 already. That just shows the value of it. So I did want to pop on, Marvin, before you go any further. The team told me they're almost out of spots. So this isn't false, scarcity, urgency, y'all. Like literally, you cannot find the discount code on his social media. Um, it's nowhere. So I just want to say shout out to everybody who's working on it. We see several team members that are like, or several people in the background. They're like, hey, I'm working on it. They're texting us. Keep working on it. If that's you, if you're still working on getting your discounted ticket, just put working on it in the chat. Let me see how many people are working to get one of those last spots so I can just salute you ahead of time for working on it. Just drop that in the chat, put working on it in the chat. If you're like, yo, I'm getting that ticket before it closes, I'm going to work to get one of those last few spots. Just put that in the chat. Type the words working on it. Okay, Rhonda Brown says, I'm working on it. Let's go, team. I think Emmanuel's in here and some of our team members, maybe Mark. Let's go ahead and make sure we congratulate Rhonda and support her if she needs any help while getting in, and anybody else who's typing working on it in the chat. So, anyways, Marvin, I just wanted to make sure I gave a shout
And
out.
by the way, I want to make sure that you all know, because I don't want to hear my team telling me a lot of you all scheduled those appointments with my team earlier. Make sure you got that on your it's on your calendar. You've accepted it, you've written it down. Please don't not show up. Don't not be available. Answer your phone, right? Answer your phone. It's going to come from a probably a 314 number, 314-373 number. So make sure that you answer that call. I can't stress that enough. So perfect, 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 perfect. Um, let's see. Um, look, I just want to tell you all there are so many ways. I'll kind of end this with saying this. There are so many ways that you could be successful to earn passive income to, you know, the biggest thing is changing your environment. I just got to tell you, changing your environment and getting into an environment, a growth environment, is the number one thing that ever really truly changed my life. When I got out of Walnut Park, when I when I started, understanding the power of community and not acting like a silo, understanding the power of group, it became an extremely powerful thing. So, I'll tell you this. Short, a short cannot grow beyond its environment. It just can't. Look it up. If you put a baby shark, into a fish tank, it cannot grow beyond the fish tank. It just can't. It'll stay small. But when you put it into the ocean, all of a sudden it starts to grow into its environment. And we're kind of the same way. We can't grow past our environment. We have to expose ourselves to things. And that's how you wonder what's the number one key to my success? I found a way to get in the room. Okay, some of you don't think I'm telling the truth. Google what I just said. Chat GPT, what I just said. One of the most fascinating things ever. I found a way to get into the room with people who thought bigger than me, who had better ideas than me, who thought more than I can ever think, right? And those individuals put in me a growth system. And I still do it today. I went to a more successful, there's an advisor who's way more successful than me. And I went to tour his office for 2 days. And all I did was I just asked questions to anybody who I could. 2 days. And in just 2 weeks, I came back. And let me tell you, I've implemented some things that are already taking this business to a entirely new level that we haven't seen before. And I'm excited to see we're going to have $1 billion in assets under management, right? Because of what I just learned this weekend. But I wasn't afraid. I was humble enough to know that I don't have all of the answers. I don't know all the answers. I was humble enough to still be coachable. And because I'm still coachable, I will pay for the benefit of exposure. Yes, I will pay to play. There is nothing wrong with paying to play because I realize that the best investment that I could ever make into my life is not the S&P 500, it's the SME 500 because there's no return bigger than the return of you taking the time to invest in yourself. So I do, Malika. So with that being said, I'm going to tell you to do the same thing. We only got a couple of spots available. And there are people in here, for whatever reason, I can't understand, that are not taking action. There's 182 people in here. If I knew that I needed to change my environment, if I knew that I needed a new state, I would take action. If I knew that I needed to do something different, or if I knew that I had the money, I needed to protect what I built because I don't want to lose it because of a lack of education, a lack of knowledge. I'm going to ask you one last time to go ahead and take action right now. Drop the link in the chat. Take action right now. This is your moment. This is your season. And not because of me, but because of you. I believe in you. I know you can do this. Whatever's holding you back is probably holding you back in other areas of your life. You see, there's people who automatically said no. And for those individuals who said no, I respect that, right? Because this just isn't for you, and that's fine. There are some people who said yes. And for the people who said yes, congratulations. I'm going to make sure we multiply that investment. You know, my goal is in the first day or two, you're already going to find a way to multiply that investment. But then there are individuals who are still here and they're kind of like, I got to think about it. I'm sitting on the sidelines. I don't know. I'm thinking about it. Maybe I should, maybe I shouldn't. The Bible says an unstable man. I mean, what it says, an unsure person is unstable in all their ways. I totally bullshit that, but you know what I mean. It's unstable in all of their ways, right? So with that being said, if you are being unstable in this area, right? If you don't let your yes be yes and your no be no now, a double-minded man, that's it. A double-minded man is unstable. Thank you, Clarice. A double-minded man is unstable in all of his ways. A double-minded man. So if you're kind of tiptoeing back and forth and you just don't know, well, guess what? Guess what? You're probably being double-minded in other areas of your life. And sometimes you have to take action in at least one of those areas to release the other areas in your life. So sometimes I've paid investments in myself, and it's like immediately the universe rewarded me for not being afraid to invest in myself. It may have not even came from the thing that I invested in. Now, I am seeing some people who are saying, I don't have money, I don't have money, I don't have money. Can I give you some advice? Even if you don't have the money, don't say you don't have the money because your words are powerful. Remember, death and life is in the power of the tongue. The Bible says, speak those things that are not as though they are. Speak those things that are not as though they are. So what I want you to do is speak as if. That's not you lying to yourself. That's not you manipulating anything. That's not you. No, it's not lying, because what you're doing is you are claiming the inheritance that is already yours, but you just haven't claimed it because you've been telling yourself situations that have caused you to stay in that same situation. The same stories that you're repeating to yourself, they're causing you to be stuck into a situation. But guess what? You can reverse that trend and give your life something unexpected. You could tell your life that I do have money. Wealth and riches are in my house. Money comes to me easily, frequently, and abundantly, and those that are around me are automatically blessed by my presence, right? You can start speaking life into your life. And then guess what? You're going to be surprised that money will begin to come to you easily, frequently, and abundantly, because you wasn't afraid to not just say it, not just speak it, but to actually believe it and to actually feel it. And the universe rewards you with not what you say, but what you feel because of what you said. Some of y'all are telling yourself negative thoughts every single day. You're waking up telling yourself, I hate Mondays. Or you telling yourself, I don't want to go to work? Or you telling yourself, I'm frustrated. This person making me mad. And if you audit your thoughts, you will realize that the exact reason why you're where you are right now is because of the thoughts that you're saying to yourself and speaking to yourself and thinking to yourself every single day. As a man thinks in his heart, so is he. And if you're a woman, as a woman thinks in her heart, so is she. I don't want you to think I'm not talking about you too, right? Your thoughts literally creates your life. That's one of the biggest secrets. I'm not just saying that. I dream, I envision. So what I want you to do, if you're still on here and if you're not driving right now, I want you to take a second and pause really quick. I want you to close your eyes for like 15 seconds, and I want you to envision yourself as your ideal self. I want you, none of your stories, none of your excuses, none of your trauma, none of your blame, none of your victimhood. I want you to suspend that disbelief just for a minute. And I want you to close your eyes and envision yourself living in your ideal house. Envision you taking as many trips and traveling as much as you want to. I want you to envision yourself being able to get on a yacht just anytime that you want. If you want to fly on a private jet, you flying on a private jet. You're spending time with your kids, your grandkids, your family. You're able to be present. You're not stressed out about money. In fact, money is to you easily, frequently, and abundantly. You opened up your mailbox and all you see is checks. You don't even know where the checks come from. You're not seeing bills anymore. When you drive into the store, all of a sudden the first parking spot just comes available to you without you even thinking about it. Everything in your life is going as you dream, as you imagine, for your best. You are in your ideal relationship. Your relationship is restored. If you're married and you're losing flame, it's coming back to you. If you're not married and you want to be married, that love of your life is just coming into your life. You're surrounded with your friends and people who love you all the time. You don't even have to work because you built something that's not going to require you to keep putting forth effort. I want you to envision all of this because all of this is possible. You own a lot of assets. You own laundromats. You own vending machines. You own real estate. You're taking it to another level. You're getting all of this cash flow. As I said, wealth and riches are just living by you. Everything you touch is turning into gold. Um, I want you to watch how you're speaking to yourself, right? I want you to watch how you're speaking to yourself. And I want you to stop saying things to yourself. If you truly can't do it, just don't do it, right? You don't have to speak it. You don't have to, you know, let the person who's healed say, I am healed. Let the person who's sick say, I am healed, right? You got your best health, your fitness. Some of you done lost some weight. Your abs are kicking in. You eating healthy. You stopping some of the bad habits. All of this stuff is possible for you. You are helping people, thousands and thousands. You're telling thousands and thousands of people your story. You're speaking on stages. You're out dominating. This could be you. This will be you. But you got to accept that and you got to believe. And again, I said it's hard to get people to unlearn something. You can teach people anything. The hardest part is getting you to get out of the mindset that has kept you down for so many years. So, with that being said, I have to get out of here, but we're going to give you one last chance. This is it. This is it. We dropping the link one last time. This is your chance to change your environment, to change, to rediscover your purpose, to ignite a passion within you, to get the confidence, peace of mind, and control that you desire. This is your opportunity right now, and I don't say that lightly. We dropped the code. We're gonna give you a 4-minute countdown, and then we're gonna go ahead and end this challenge today. Michael, you want to come up while we're giving people the last opportunity, the last 4 minutes? You want to come in and just leave people with just a little bit of gems before we go?
Yeah, man, for sure. And then I can play the testimonial reel as well, so they can
Absolutely.
see, so they could see other people. Do you guys want to hear from other people who went through the challenge? Just put a yes in the chat if you want to hear from other people who went through the challenge. They made that big jump. They made that big leap. They said, you know what? I don't know if I can do this right now. Okay, cool. So that's what I'm going to play that in about 30 seconds. But what I'll say is, listen, I've been with Marvin since, man, it's been forever. I've been with Marvin for like 5 years. I don't even know. I need to officially count. But I've been with Marvin since he had only 1,000 followers. Now he has 150, 200,000 plus all combined together. And it's really cool to see somebody that hasn't changed. The message has been the same. Yes, the wealth strategies may just tweak a little bit, but Marvin, he's had the same message because it's so true how timeless these are if you learn them. So it's really cool. I just want to say, if you're here and you're like, who is this Marvin guy? I've been with Marvin for, like I said, 5 years now or so. And it's amazing to see how he's went from just coaching. I remember Zooms where there was only 10 or 20 people to now you guys seen today, we had almost 350, 400 people on at a time. So that's the power of this message. But what I want to do is, while you all are working on it, I just dropped the link in the chat. Use the code Bootcamp50 at checkout. What I want to do is, I want you guys to see from other people who've been in this event what they're saying about it. So it's not coming from me. It's not coming from Marvin, but it's coming from real life people who were in your exact seats, were right where you guys are right now, and they decided to make that jump. So watch this quick video, and then I'll come back and we'll wrap up for the evening.
To be totally honest, it was mind-blowing for me. I'm thinking, like, is this real?
Take the challenge, learn everything that's shared, because there's a lot of knowledge dropped that could really help.
You have mind-blown me to the point to where I'm talking to my kids already. Like, I'm literally trying to help everybody, and I don't even know nothing. I don't even know nothing yet. This is 5 days, and I'm mind-blown.
I felt like, you know, hearing what you have said and listen to all the other presenters, you know, teach us stuff, that I have to take a chance on myself, and I have to have that blind faith in knowing that God didn't give me that, you know, the unctioning to do this without a reason.
This has been so eye-opening, so refreshing, and I am just so happy that I got involved.
The amount of information we got in the 5 days is crazy. I've taken a challenge before, more money than what I've paid for this, and I just feel like they weren't dropping the gems.
And this program, I don't know how I found you. It came right on time, and it felt right. And I'm excited to be a part of it.
Create passive income by investing in assets. I know that I can improve my personal and business credit. Like, I know so much now. Like,
I'm glad I joined, because in the knowledge that I've gotten over the 5 days, it has gave me confirmation, having my retirement and generational wealth for my grandkids. I know now that I can get those things.
And I said, you know what? I've seen a lot of people, and I told my husband, I said, before I make any final decision, I'm going to wait for this wealth challenge and see if this is where I want to be.
first thing is to really jump in and take that 5-day challenge and just learn those things that's going to really help you achieve what the heart may desire.
I appreciate it and I loved it and I'll do it again.
And that's the best decision I've made because I feel like I'm in a room with people that know more than me. This is how you learn. You know, you got to get around people that are doing what you want to do.
So I say to anyone, if you sitting on the fence, don't waste your time. Don't hold up your time. Stop holding up yourself. Jump in, get on the fence so you can get it just like me.
But I can see the vision and I know if I stick with this, stick with you guys, I'll be just like you. You have the blueprint, you have the roadmap. I Googled you, I researched you. You have a very good track record and this is where I want to be.
All right, y'all, those are real people who went through the challenge. So if that's you, if you're like, hey, is people really went through this? We've had literally, if we count, we've had 5,000 plus people. That's a lot, y'all. 5,000 plus people go through this same event. So I just wanted to show you that so you could see what's possible for you. And with that being said, we appreciate you all for being here. Everybody put thank you, Marvin, in the chat real quick. Put thank you, Marvin, in the chat real quick. He gave out a lot of game, and kudos to you all that booked your wealth creation call with our team. And we want to just say thank you guys for being here, and thank you, Marvin, for pouring out. So somebody says, when does the 5-day challenge start? It's on the website. If you go to the site there, I believe it starts in a couple weeks. So I think you have 2 weeks until the challenge starts. Let's see.